On guys, I got a mid-date lineup update. Not a lot of changes, very minor changes. If you did not get the chance to check it out, check out my other video from last night when I broke down the entire slate and was able to come up with this lineup based on this breakdown of the entire slate. So that's last night video. I would definitely check it out. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications whenever I do an update, such as this one. Um, so my concept when picking players are they have to have the capability of hitting 6 times value for their price. They have to have done it consistently, and they have to have some reasonable upside to make me happy. All right. So before I even get into the changes that I made, this is the lineup that I had for last night. I just want to check out the injury news. We did get some decent injury news that kind of steered me into a nice solid lineup that I like for tonight. I really like it a lot. Um, so Cameron Payne is out, DeJounte Murray is out, Tony Parker is still questionable, which means that Patty Mills can be someone to consider. But with LaMarcus Aldridge back, I don't think Patty Mills will be relied upon as much for some scoring. So I'm going to pump the brakes on Patty Mills. Nerlens Noel, he may start. He is available to play, but it just depends on if Wesley Matthews play. If Wesley Matthews plays, they're going to start him at the small forward and then start Harrison Barnes at the power forward, Dirk Nowitzki at the center. If Wesley Matthews does not play, then they go Yogi Ferrell, Steph Curry, Harrison Barnes, Dirk Nowitzki, Nerlens Noel. So if Nerlens Noel starts, I become very interested in him, very much so. But for right now, I'm not going to include him. Nick Batum has been ruled out. Although the price on Jeremy Lamb came up, I do like him still tonight. I think in a good matchup for 5K, if he gets us 38 or something similar to that again, it'll be a good idea. We know that he's good for a point per minute in 2 games against them this year, but I don't know if I can get to Jeremy Lamb tonight. So based on that news, let me just look at one other site that I look for news. Something else just came out on top. Kyle Korver, he's not playing today. Kevin Love is not playing today, so we can get off that for now. Oh, Kevin Love practiced. So Kevin Love is very close to a return. He practiced today. I don't know what's going on with Kyle Korver. That's good news for Cleveland. Um, Porzingis didn't practice. Hoiberg is doing weird stuff. I'm not even going to read it. He's just a weird guy. Nick Batum needs a CAT scan of his brain. I hope he's okay. So let's get back to the lineup now, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is take out Kemba Walker. And I'm going to kind of break down why I'm not in love with Kemba Walker. So he needs about 50 to hit 6 times value. He's only done that once in the last 10 games. And if he does do it, the upside doesn't really come with it. Then I further looked and I saw that against a Bulls lineup, if he was 1 assist shy, it would have landed him in the 30s. He doesn't have the upside. He can get you 29 or 25. I don't want to play around with that tonight. So I'm going to get Kemba Walker. I mean, it's a great pick. I think he'll definitely be in the mid 40s. But mid 40s is not 6 times value. So Kemba Walker is still a good play. I don't discourage it. But the one that I didn't sit well with was Jordan Crawford. He can get you 30s or he can get you teens. It's like flipping a coin. So I put him at the end of my lineup in the util spot until the news kind of came out. But um, if you saw the video last night, you saw that I wasn't too confident about him either. So let's take those two out, right? The first person I'm going to go to is RAJON Rondo. The reason now, I think a lot of people might stay away from Rondo tonight because they see bad matchup. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you a trick that's going to help us be successful tonight. So Memphis is supposed to be the worst matchup for a point guard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at someone like Gasol. I'm going to look at his game log, and I'm going to show you guys that. So let's look at Milwaukee doesn't have a cut and dry point guard. They have a weird thing. Atlanta's off. So the Clippers play tonight. So Clippers, Dallas. I would say Houston, but Pat Beverly is not really a point guard, and I don't want to call the Beard a point guard. So I'm going to leave Houston out of it. I'm going to look at true point guards, right? So Clippers, Dallas, Phoenix, and Indiana. Let's highlight Clippers, Dallas, Phoenix, and Indiana. I want to show you guys something that's going to really help us make this decision tonight. And Phoenix, boom. Then we're going to look at their point guards, right? So Chris Paul against Memphis put up 35, which is a point per minute, right? It's not good for Chris Paul, but it's a point per minute. And I think a point per minute would be great for Rondo tonight. So let's get Chris Paul out of there. We know that Chris Paul did okay. Eric Bledsoe against Memphis put up 43 fantasy points. That's the second best outing in the last, or the best. That's the best outing in the last 10 games. Second best. The best was against Boston. That's why I like Rubio tonight. But anyway, Eric Bledsoe put up his second best effort against this Memphis team. So I'm not afraid of playing point guards against them so far, right? Let's continue. Yogi Ferrell starts for Dallas. He went to Memphis. He played 29 minutes, put up 29 fantasy points. That's a point per minute. And Yogi Ferrell sucks, in my opinion. I don't think he's a great point guard, but nonetheless, let's look at Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague went to Memphis, and he's been struggling, guys. And he put up a point per minute, 30. And he is struggling, having a bad stretch right now. He put up 30, a point per minute. So it's safe to say that the point guards that's been playing against Memphis are putting up a point per minute. So that brings me back to RAJON Rondo. You got to get him in your lineup. He's starting, and his backup has already been ruled out. Chicago has finally got the sense of urgency. I think Rondo, after getting back his starting job, we saw how hungry he looks. And even when he was coming off the bench, another reason why I like Rondo, when he was coming off the bench, he was still giving us 30s some nights, 37, 28, 32. I would say pretty, not consistent, but frequent, right? So now that he's starting, I'm expecting mid 30s to 40s from Rondo. Um, in one game, he played 20 minutes against them. He put up 15 fantasy points. I think Rondo can hit the 6 times value, and I think the upside is there for Rondo as well. So I'm going to go ahead and plug Rondo in. Now we have $7,600 for our last util spot. If you're a frequent watcher of my videos, you know that I promote having 2 centers in your lineup. The utility spot should just have a C next to it most times because I love centers. But nonetheless, I came up with Marc Gasol. He's the best pick for the price that we have, and he's not a bad pick. Chicago doesn't have a real big man that can stop Gasol in the paint. I think Conley is going to have a difficult time with Rondo being so pesky at the point guard. Rondo is very annoying as a defender. He'll get up on you, and he's just very pesky, kind of like a Pat Beverly kind of defender. So I think they try to exploit the weak interior of the Bulls, and then we know we can get some threes out of Gasol on any given night as well. So I like Gasol. He needs about low 40s to make us happy. He's been in the upper 30s rather consistent, but he can get you 40s as well. The reason they played already, he played and he put up 46 fantasy points. I think Gasol gets into the 40s tonight. And if he doesn't, he wouldn't crash a lineup. You know, he could be the difference as far as getting to the top 5 in a 10 times booster or not. But I don't think he's going to be the reason why you say, oh man, I lost tonight. So this is the updated lineup. Ricky Rubio, his price has increased, but not to his capabilities. The one time he didn't get into the 40s, he was in some foul trouble and he didn't play. He only played 28 minutes. I think Rubio gets into the 30s against a good Boston defense. I like Rubio. Devin Booker, the upside isn't great, but he's so consistent, man. He's getting me mid 30s every day. So if I can expect that from him with the possibility of a 45, that'd be great. In 2 games that they played, he's good for about a point per minute. So I like Devin Booker. I don't love him, but I think he's stable and steady enough to just carry my lineup. Paul George has been on a tear. He had a bad game against the Bulls. He put up 37 points. I don't think he's going to shoot this poorly tomorrow. I think he doubles again tonight. He's in a good matchup. The last time they played, he put up 40s. We need about mid 40s for that price, about 50 actually. I like Paul George at home in tonight's favorable matchup. And it's hard to find another small forward, to be honest, why I'm leaning so hard on Paul George. Leonard and Antetokounmpo are too expensive. Jimmy Butler's too up and down. I really can't trust that guy. Hayward, same thing. He can get you 37, 14. It's too risky for Hayward. So I don't really have a solid shooting forward, small forward. So I'm relying on Paul George tonight, and I think he'll have a good game. Marvin Williams, he's just been hot. He's averaging over 40 in the last 10 games, and that's what we need for 6 times value. And we know the upside is 50s, and he's been on the closer side of 50 in the last 3 games. He's in a favorable matchup. I think he doubles again tonight, and Batum is out, so he has more responsibility. I like him. Costa Kufos, I like because of his consistency. He's consistently in the mid 20s. Um, he can flash a double double against a Phoenix team easily. I think Costa Kufos is safe. Rondo, we just discussed. Gasol, we just discussed. And Bihalika, so he played 9 minutes against Boston and he put up 13 fantasy points. So that's over. That's like a point and a half. And that just one game sample size is not nothing to really chase. But Boston is a team that's very generous to the bigs, power forward and centers. Cat is a good pick tonight. It's just that I'm not down to play a 10K guy on a slate like this. It's just going to handicap and cripple the rest of my lineup. The other reason I like B. Helixa, if we look at minutes, it used to be Gorgie Jang was guaranteed for the minutes, but we see Gorgie Jang minutes getting to the mid 20s. But one thing about B. Helixa minutes as of late, steadily in the 30s, just around 30. I think he's good for at least a point per minute against a very soft Dallas interior. I see him putting up about 30 again tonight, which is about 7 times value. So I'm not bulging on Bielitsa. This is the new lineup. Love it a lot. Play it with confidence. Definitely in the green tonight. You cannot not get into the green with this lineup so far. If something if something big drops and I feel like there's need for another change, I will update this lineup. But for right now, this is what I'm going with. Good luck.